So a couple things before this video starts. Number one, you see how I learned my lesson. I put my hair up now so I can see. Hair is not on my face. I put it up so I can see a little bit. My peripherals are destroyed, but there's nothing going on here. So that's number one. Number two, you're gonna get a little local W double feature because, you know, I'm obviously doing this video and then in a couple hours they play game 4. So you're gonna get a little local W feature. Local W double feature. A local W double feature. So shout out to y'all for getting more entertainment in one day. Let's get to the shenanigans. What they did. And then the third thing. The reason why these videos be so late is because I'm in a band. So I'm jetting to practice and then trying to get back to work in time. I'm pulling all-nighters. So that's not here to there. So that's why these videos are so late. I apologize. But today I don't have work and I don't have practice. So I should be able to just get you the video today so it's not 3 days later, but that's not here to there. Anyway, so a couple nights ago, we are talking about game number 3. This was a very, I don't want to use the word pivotal because I feel like that's a little corny, but this was a pretty serious game 3. What had happened was in game 1, you had the sun coming into Brooklyn, knocking folks in the teeth, literally and figuratively, and the super team known as the Liberty kind of fell back on their, okay, well, this is what I did at this spot, this is what I did at this spot, let's just play hero ball, your turn, my turn, and hope for the best, right? That's obviously not going to work against pure chemistry, right? Hero ball against chemistry is never a good sight, right? That first game you had, you know what, we're not going to go into the breakdown of it because this video is going to be an hour long. So then you go into game 2, right? Game 2, serious stuff. Rebecca Allen's not really much of a factor because she's in foul trouble. You've got the amazing and stupendous Tiffany Hayes, which I can't believe I'm saying something positive about her. What is 2023? But that's not even there. You've got individuals going back and forth, handling their business. But Elijah Laney decides to show up for the party, start hitting clutch threes. The Liberty are able to persevere. And even though it was a blowout, I still think it was tightly contested because the energy level was still at a fever pitch. But that's not here to there. So the Liberty are able to gain back control of the series. Everything's good. We go to Connecticut for the game that we're talking about right now in game 3. And I was expecting Connecticut to come out strong, get that home court advantage, take advantage of the cigarette smoke coming down from the casino. I don't know. And really sock it to them, if you will. But instead, it was the Liberty blowing the doors off the game from the word go. And just what I predicted last video, it wasn't the whole thing, but it was just enough to get the girls ready. Sabrina Ionescu. That's why the video is titled what it is. I don't know if I spelled her last name right. I probably copied and pasted it if I did. But Sabrina, this was the Sabrina game. This is what I had been waiting for. And again, we're not talking about the whole game. She's just going nuts. But she did enough in that first quarter to establish, hey, this is what I can do. You got to stop all of us. Because everyone on the floor, especially that starting lineup, that basically plays the whole game. I mean, let's keep it a beam. It's not just the Connecticut side where folks aren't really having much of a rest. Basically, it's 5-on-5 the whole game without much substitutions outside of maybe someone gets in foul trouble every now and again. So Sabrina set the tone immediately, just started spraying threes, and how she did it wasn't like she just went to Karis LeVert offensive land. What happened? It wasn't ISO City. She was getting the shots within the offense. Every little catch and shoot 3 she was able to pull off, which was deeper and deeper back with each shot. I don't know if we talk about her range enough, but she was practically on the opposing bench, cashing these threes, but that's not here or there. She got it within the flow of the offense. And what the difference is, normally Sabrina is going to continue to swing the ball, but there was a concerted effort. There was a clear intention that if she gets the ball and she's open in the beginning of the game, she's cashing it just to let everyone know, I have been passive. At a moment's notice, I can erupt. And that is what is needed. That, again, it's got to come from different places every game because this is a playoff series. So you can kind of game plan for things like that. Sabrina has been imprisoned this entire series, so she hasn't really had a moment to show what she can do. But with Rebecca Allen being sick, I believe. Was that it? They were saying like non-COVID or something like that. I feel like that's the new way of saying someone has a headache, but that's not even there. But she was sick. Tip was kind of more focused on doing hand signals to the officials and playing defense. So she was just running a tear. And Sabrina handled her business within the flow of the offense to let everyone know you need to figure out something to do with Stewie. You need to figure out something to do with Jonquel. You need to figure out something to do with Courtney. You need to figure out something to do with Lainey. And you need to figure out something to do with me. For those of you who are not keeping count at home, that is all 5 starters who can erupt for a buckets worth of points at a moment's notice. And Sabrina was that final piece. To be the literal cover of 2K, this is the kind of stuff we're expecting. And when you view slander upon her, there's obviously a bunch of plethora of reasons that we're not going to go into in this video, but one of the main reasons is we need to see this kind of stuff when it matters. If you're going to be the cover of 2K, you got to show up and show out and show us that you are about that type of action. If you're going to get that type of notoriety to be the cover of a video game, you got to back that up when it matters the most. And by golly, in the trash can, did she? That's the reason why Stewie was able to hit more field goals than she was able to in the last couple games. Because now the defense is terrified because all 5 of them can erupt for points at will. As long as it's within the offense, but at will. That's why it seemed kind of more lopsided than usual. Because everyone's freaking out doing man-to-man. That zone stuff, it don't work now. You can't trap anyone. All 5 of them are going off. Ain't nothing you can do. With this particular game, what I noticed heavily with Connecticut, and again, I know there are actual stats I could be reading off here, but I just want to keep us in the land of the eye test for just a moment, y'all. What I noticed with Connecticut is obviously the officiating changed heavily. They were going to make sure that it wasn't just a cage match because that's kind of what it was looking like. It was going to be a barbed wire match. And they just said, you know what, let's calm it down a little bit before everyone starts legitimately swinging at each other. And they started calling the game really tight. And Connecticut's game plan seems to be, we're just going to be super physical and beat up the other team. Now, against the Liberty, I have no sympathy for the Liberty because that's what they do, but they do it within the game. You see, the Liberty are bullies. Connecticut is on Street Fighter mode. And don't get me wrong, I love to watch it. It's just like there are 2 different types of physical play on display here. The Liberty are bullies, and they will physically play with you, but within the rules. Connecticut is just all aggression, and there's not a plan to it. It's just pure aggression. And then when you add in there that they have this heliocentric offense where it's literally just Thomas does her thing and everyone else just kind of shuffles around her, I can tell you right now that's 2 things against you right there. You're going up against a legitimate system, whereas you're just running the team through AT. That's not going to work. In the history of basketball, that has never worked. Maybe it has in the WNBA one year and I just didn't notice, but to my knowledge, in the history of basketball, that never works. I mean, you've got small instances where you can get to the finals off of it. Again, I can't speak too much to the W, but your Jimmy Butler Miami runs, your Allen Iverson 76ers runs. There are times where one individual is just so good, they can carry you to the promised land, but you're not going to win. And with the WNBA being as top-heavy as it is, we really only have 3 contenders. Everyone from Connecticut down is just filler to get to where we are right now. We know the Wings didn't have a chance. There's no surprise in what happened over there. It's the ace versus whoever's getting out of this series, and we're all aware of it. It's been a race between 3 teams this whole year. It's not just the MVP race. So with the W being so top-heavy, You have to, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You have to lock in and have a legitimate plan here. And I'll give Coach Sandy a lot of credit, because to be able to get everyone to buy in year one, again, what's going to happen in the and I'm not talking past Connecticut, because in a couple hours we got a really serious game 4 to get into, and I think this can go 5 games personally. Personally, I think this could go 5 games, but that's not here nor there. I don't think Connecticut's just going to lay down like that. I think we're in for a very physical game coming up in a couple hours. Closely contested, like, folks are going to have the mentality of, I would rather die on the court than get eliminated right now. I'm predicting an overtime, but that's not here nor there. Like, we are in for a really, really good game. So I'm not even going to finish what I was saying, because I don't want to disrespect Connecticut like that. I have just never seen ever an instance where having one person basically control, and especially a forward, you don't see it often. Like, even LeBron can't do it. He needs help. And not that she doesn't have help. I don't want to be disrespectful to Bonner. And I cannot stress enough how amazing Tiffany Hayes is playing. As an Atlanta Dream fan, who's only been watching for about 3 years, I have not seen Tiffany Hayes play meaningful basketball ever. So to see her do what she's doing right now, it's like, oh, she's that good. I never knew. Atlanta's been trashed for so long. You know what I mean? Like, I never got a chance to see this side of Tip. I think a simple tweak in the offseason, and again, I don't want to write them off like they can't mess around and get past the Liberty and get to the finals, because I think they have a better chance matchup-wise against Vegas than New York. Personally, that is just me. I think the size of New York is getting to them, and I don't think anyone on the planet is able to contest Breanna Stewart for too long, especially when everyone else is going to step up and do their job. Single coverage is just not going to be enough. If they are able to sneak past New York, I think they have a very large chance of upsetting Vegas. But I think in the offseason, regardless what happens with this series and next series, you add Skylar Diggins to this. I'm just saying, add a dynamic point guard to what's going on right now, and know what y'all going to say, that's going to take the ball away from AT, and what about other ball? Don't think about it like that. Don't think about it like that. Think about it as someone who can take the pressure off of her. Because right now they are living and dying. Like, one injury away from the season being cooked. And with the amount of minutes she's playing too, I can't be the only one whose mouth waters at the idea of seeing Skylar add to this. I can't be the only one. I mean, honestly, even, and I'm going like high scraping free agency pick like that. And I don't know if she's a free agent, but just find a way to make it happen. I'm going like high scraping stuff like that because you need the experience. I think trying to get involved in the Destiny Henderson sweepstake, I don't know if Destiny's ready. I don't know if Henny's ready for that, right? You need veteran experience that's going to drop in and immediately make this go further than it already is. That's what made the Tiffany Hayes signing so interesting, because it's like, agaga. You know what I mean? But I am not writing them off. I'm simply speculating and just excited about how competitive this series has been. I don't want to make this video too long because we're going to be back in a couple hours. I'm going to go to Red Lobster real quick. You know what I mean? But then when I get back, I'm going to watch the game. And then we'll come back here and we'll have a discussion of either how Connecticut was able to dig their heels in the dirt and just grind out another dub, or how the Liberty are advancing to the finals. From a strictly entertainment standpoint, I want Game 5. From a strictly entertainment standpoint, I want Game 5. So I'm pulling for Connecticut because I'm petty and I want Game 5 and I want to see violence. But I'm sure for most Liberty fans, you want this done. And if I can just get in the New York huddle just real quick, y'all have a golden opportunity. I mean, you might create a supervillain out of this, but you have a golden opportunity. Jean-Quel, I'm talking to you. You have got a golden opportunity to send them home today. End it. Finish it. Be done with it. Because if you go to a game 5, I don't care if it's on Mars. I don't know if y'all want that type of energy. Jean-Quel, the type of, I don't even know what to call it, like the type of energy you're going to get off of sending them home. Oh, you want to get that done now. Just pull the carpet out from under them, rip their heart out their chest. Do it. End it. If y'all are the championship organization that y'all are positioning yourself to be. Because on the other side, folks ain't lost a game yet. It's just been sweepity sweep. It's the janitorial service over there. Just sweepity sweep. Like, is that Kenny Omega? Because I just see the brooms. Put them away now. Don't play with your food. End it. Because if you don't, I wouldn't even invite that type of energy personally. Let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the last game? And I will be right back in a couple hours to cover game 4. You're on a local W. I'm Sever the Bond. Playoff coverage continues.